Alright, so that was talk about wind gaps and water gaps.
Sir, can you make it louder?
Yeah.
Thank you.
In September, we looked at why would a river flow directly through a mountain. Rivers usually go around mountains. We did go through main aspects of conventional theories of superposition, capture, etc. We found these theories are not 100% adequate. In fact, water and wind gaps is pretty common feature. There are about 170 of them only in Appalachia. Logically, it must be a common cause for their formation. We looked at Ken Cowley Appalachian water and wind gap formation analysis. Ken Cowley is Penn State undergraduate in architecture. Today I would like to introduce you to some of the fascinating details of his work. So let's take a look at his panorama style view. This is cross-section of the ridge between Susquehanna, I'm pointing here, Susquehanna River water gap and Delaware River water gap. These two major water gaps, Lehigh and Schuylkill River water gap. And so this is one group at the lower part of this cross-section. At the upper are wind gaps, with wind gap from our neighborhood right here, wind gap Pennsylvania, and other wind gaps. And we could see that the average depth of water gaps about twice deeper than wind gaps. And this lighter color distance vertical, about 600 foot between the bottoms of wind gaps and water gaps. He calls it dead band, so there is no gaps in this vertical distance. So the question is, why is this pattern is existing for us to guess? So he draws topographical view. Topographical view I presented last time. So the ridge itself is acting like a dam separating inland sea from Atlantic Ocean as ocean water level is dropping. And in the section that he drew is a section of the ridge between wind gap and Schuylkill River water gap, with Lehigh River water gap in between. So the only connection between inland sea that is on our side of the ridge and ocean side that is on the other side of the ridge is these three gaps. And water is at the level of the bottom of wind gap. So he is saying that at this point, further down cutting of wind gaps stopped. So why did wind gaps further down cutting ended? He knows that this elevation roughly correlates with the bottom of the steepest slopes. And what he means by that, I would like to share with you. Bottom of deepest slopes is actually the bottom of this rock wall that is on and off from Maine to Georgia. And if we superimpose a wind gap over here, and as I noted, it is twice less deep, twice shallower than water gaps. So the bottom of the wind gap would be around here, where the steepest slopes bottoming out. And on this subject, he is writing, and I quote, "These correlations are consistent with the possibility that ocean shoreline once posed near this elevation, temporarily halting the deepening of the gaps." So, just going back, let's get here. Ocean shoreline pose would allow the water elevations on either side of the ridge to equalize. That would cause water flow through the gaps to stop. But still, the author does not explain how shoreline pose would relate or cause wind gaps further down cutting not to resume when water elevation on ocean side resume dropping again. And this is my take. When water flow stopped, the debris like trees, sediment, etc. would pile up and clog the gaps. Maybe not all of the gaps for lack of the debris. And when pause ended, water elevation on ocean side resumed dropping again, creating water flow in opened gaps, and in some of the gaps that became unclogged. As a result, it resumed further down cutting in these gaps. Now, at present time, these are water gaps. The gaps that were not unclogged are now wind gaps. Also, other hydrological factors could be the reasons why wind gaps did not reopen, like gap channel configuration. If it's snaky, it's much more difficult to open than a straight channel. Even wind direction and wind speed would be a factor. And as we noted last time in September, he compares formation of Lehigh River Gorge with Colorado River Grand Canyon formation. We already looked at canyon lengths last time. This time I would like to take a look at the case of Grand Staircase. Grand Staircase with Grand Canyon at the bottom of the staircase reveals to us the sequence of whole geological column from basement granites to the youngest Cenozoic strata. But just let me just go over it. So whole geologic column is on the left side under Bryce Canyon. So Bryce, where is Bryce? Bryce is right here. Is in Cenozoic youngest layer, those beautiful hoodas. And a couple of steps down is Zion Canyon with Navajo sandstone with gigantic crossbeds. And going further down is White Cliffs, where we're gonna stop. We're gonna show our own pictures. No, at Vermilion Cliffs. This is the first step. And the last step is actually rim of Grand Canyon. By just looking at this picture as a whole, we see that half of the strata is missing, beginning from left to right. So whole strata is on the left, and at the rim is only half of it. So all this vast stretch that measures probably not less than 100 miles is missing. So what kind of event would so what kind of event or process could account for this kind of information? Conventional science has no comprehensive theory on that. We could safely presume initially whole sedimentary strata was laying flat, with no grand staircase, no grand canyon, no uplift, no this uplift. Now I would like to share with you one of my love works. This miniature staircase formed by tidal action on seashore. So just by flat flow of water flow, we could count about two, three, maybe four stairs here. So I'm just trying to give us a hint that it parallels. This observation of my work is consistent with the possibility that a grand staircase was formed by a flat, watery sheet wash flow of emerging North American continent that practically all scientists in agreement that our continent, as other continents, were underwater. And also it would account for half of the geologic column strata missing. We are talking about this stretch. The next step would be Kaibab uplift. So Kaibab is this plateau that is part of Colorado Plateau regional uplift. So what happened when it rose? Colorado River channel is going to hit right into this plateau that is 4,000 feet vertical. So Colorado River channel is dammed, water is backed up, uplifted strata is stretched, weakened, and cracked with possible crevasses. And backed up water finds its way through the cracked, uplifted plateau and opens what is now Grand Canyon. This is not my genius. This is summary of what I've been investigating in documents and literature. As one of many evidences of this reality, I want to share with you the one we witnessed with Jude in Vermilion Cliffs that is first